Hi, so in this video I'd like to show you how to program user authentication in Visual Studio with VisualBasics.net. So what we want to do is we want to allow the user to put the username and password in and log into our system. And we want to verify that they have the correct username and password. Now the key is we don't want to save their password as a string, we want to save them as a hash. And we want to check against that hash every time that user logs in. So that's the goal of our project. So let's get started. So I've got a Visual Basics loaded up here, and what I'll do is I'll go File and New Project, and we'll just make a Windows user login, user auth. Create user auth, and we're just going to create a new project. Okay, so login page, about that big, it's pretty good there. Probably want some kind of putting our username and password. So we'll put some text boxes, one text box, two text box, one for username, one for password, and a big button for them to log in. B for button. There we go. Let's name these so we can reference them in our code. Scroll up. Let's call this txt username. And over here, this one, we'll call this one txt password. And this one here, we'll just call it btn login. Login. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put in some a username and login to test it with. So I'll put a default in there. So I'll put the default username as admin and the default password as pass123. Pass123 there. So you can see pass123 in there. Now there is a password char here that we'll use, because right now we don't want people to see our password. Our password chart as a standard is star. We'll use star there, and then it will change everything to stars, so we can't see our password there. So when you type in, you can't see it. You can turn that off. We can have a little button where we go password, where we get rid of the password chart so that we can show or hide the password, but we'll do that at another time. So let's call this button login, and let's double click on the button so we can program it. Alright. Okay, so the idea is when the person logs in, they put in their username, they put in their password, and what happens is we get their password, we hash it, and we want to check it. We want to check if this hash is exists in our, say, database or or a file. Now let's use a CSV file to save our password hashes. All right. So what we'll do is we'll create a CSV file. So we'll need to do some setting up. So we'll import the file library. I'll increase my font so you can see better. Maybe that big. Don't need these anymore. Maybe too big. 150. Alright, so we'll import system.io, and we'll just create a random file for now. So this file, I'm only creating this right now once, so that we have something to work with. So we'll just go hashes.csv, say, or .dart, doesn't matter, right? CSV. Right, and I'll get a reference to that. Actually, I'll go. Right now, this creates a file, but I think it needs to be closed. So what I'll do is I'll go div file. We can't have this anymore. Let's just go hash file, and we'll go hash. And we'll just hash file.close that. Hash file.close. Right. And what I'll do is I need to put this user in. So really, I want to create a new user. So I don't want to. If I log in right now, it won't work. So I need to maybe create a new user. So let's put in another button that allows me to create a new user. So we'll use this button. We'll call this add register, say. Call this register. And all we need to do is just register a new login password and username. So we just call this register. And we need to register a new person. So actually what we should do is we should create this new file. Well, we should create a file and register this. So we'll double click on register, and we should create this new file and register the new person. So hash file. Let's see what we got here. Do they have a right? Yep, we got a right line. We'll write the username. So since this is a our hash file and it's going to be a CSV, we'll put our txt username.text, put a comma, and then we need to put the hash of the password, because we don't want to actually store the password. It's in a file like this as someone's, you know, want to keep people's passwords secure. And the hash that I'm going to use is a very weak hash. This is not the hash you would use in real production. This is just for demonstration purposes. So you wouldn't use this in real life. So what you could do is you can grab the text password, right? And then you go .hash, and it will generate a hash for us. Get hash code. And this will generate a hash for us. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you how this works. So you can see the actual hash. So I'll just grab that, chuck it into hash, pass hash. And just to show you, I'll message box this out, pass hash, just so you can see that the password, which is txt password, when it's hashed, you'll look like this. And what we'll do here is we'll go pass hash here. And no semicolon in this language. So I'll register it. What I'll do is I'll create a file and I'll write into the file this, and what I'll do is I'll close it. I'll go hash file.close. And I actually want to do this. I only want to create a file once actually. I want to make sure the file's already there. So we'll do that. We'll start that and we'll register and we'll see what happens. So what I'll do, I've already got it in there. I'll click register and pass 123 is a double string. Convert from a string to a double. Yeah, okay. So what we should do is we should convert this to string. Actually, put it here. To string. Convert the hash code to string. We'll see what it looks like. So that's the hash code to string. It's these bunch of numbers, and it's a very weak hash, but look, it gets the job done for our purposes. All right, so if we check this file, let me open the file up actually. Let me go process.start. And let's just open this file up and see in Notepad. Let's just open this file up in Notepad and see what we get. Okay, so you see admin, comma, and that, right? So so that's pretty good there. Of course, we can open up in Excel. I can't remember what it is. I think it's just Excel like that. I'm not sure. Let me just double check that one. Yep, it is. Just write Excel there, and then you can see here Excel puts it in nice little columns for us. That's pretty good there. All right, so so this will register the new person. Now we don't want to do this anymore because we've already generated the file, so we don't want to do that anymore. Sorry, we don't want to actually create a file. We actually want to open a file. Every time it does this, we want to open a file. But actually, let's not open a file. Let's do a file.append instead. We just go append text. We'll test this one out. Append text, and I want to append this plus an environment dot new line. I want an environment dot new line. We don't need to close a file on append. Should just append a new person for us. Now we don't want to append non-unique people, so really we should check if it's unique at some point. But I'll let you do that. Let me just see if I can append a new person with the same password. So I'll go admin. I'll just go guest. Path. All right. Legal character path. Let me just. So hold on. I haven't got the right input here. This actually wants the path. This actually wants the path. So that's not what we want. Okay. Let's append all lines. Let's use append all lines. We'll put the path in as hashes.savv, and we'll put an array in with this thing. Dim entry. I'll just go to entry there. New, we need new here. Okay. All right, so that will append this line into this. Since we're using a function that requires multiple lines, we only want to put one line, so that's just a cheat that I've done. Let me do that. Let me add in another one like guest, same password, register. Okay, so that's not what we want. This one here is pass. It's not exactly what we want. There. Also, I don't want to use Excel. I don't want to use Excel.